Alontae Taylor. You watch right here, they're going to motion to a bunch set, and you're going to see him hands in front clapping, that goes behind his back clapping. That changes the responsibility of how they pass off the routes in the bunch. So a miscommunication error there, right there. Here, it's zone coverage, and his responsibility is to flat. He doesn't get there fast enough, leaves the big play to Bijan Robinson. He's a guy I got benched a couple of weeks ago out in the Rams game because of effort issues. These, to me, were not effort issues. These were execution issues, things they have to get cleaned up on the defensive side of the ball to limit the big plays of the Falcons.
Well, you can tell that the Falcons were clearly trying to take advantage of the issues that they've seen on tape from Alontae Taylor. And again, you're right, this was not an effort issue, but it was confusion with all the motion and shifting that Atlanta likes to do.
AJ, what do the coaches have to say?
Well, Arthur Smith gave Desmond Ridder credit for his decision-making and his cadence in that first half, especially connecting on some of those explosives. But he says pre-snap, they have to clean things up, especially with penalties. And of note, linebacker Caden Ellis has been downgraded to out with that knee injury, guys. And for the Saints, Dennis Allen noted those two explosives that you just spoke of. He said basically those busted coverages can't happen. He highlighted, though, that they limited the Falcons to just 20 yards rushing in that first half, guys.
Yeah, did a good job in that department as we open up the second half. Falcons football tied at 17. Ridder to the air on first down. And he comes back the other way to Algier. Got a couple of blockers ahead, but a nice tackle by guess who? Demario Davis, the team's leading tackler with 112 entering the day.
Yeah, you're going to see Chris Lindstrom here just miss, and he's pounding the ground afterwards, because he knows that if he blocks Demario Davis there, Tyler Algiers has a lot of space going to the poke roll, Chris Lindstrom. But first play of the second half, he missed.
He doesn't miss off.
No, he doesn't.
Falcons use the pistol more than any other team in the NFL. 35% of the time. Here it leads to a Robinson touch. And he was tripped up on the play. Paulson Adebo on the tackle. That makes it third down. Well, the Falcons got off to a hot start in this game. Touchdowns on each of their first two drives. Then a couple of punts, including the short one by Pinion before a field goal right before the half.
Yeah, really clean half offensively, you know, for the Falcons. They come out with the first two drives on and touchdowns, and good execution in the 2-minute drive to get points before the half as well. But it's going to come down to third down conversions in this ball game. We got a tie game here coming out of the half. These third down conversions are going to be massive.
Ridder picked off, intercepted by Alontae Taylor. And Taylor gets to the 26-yard line. Well, we chronicled it was a rough first half for Taylor, but he comes up with his second interception.
He probably got a pep talk at halftime as well about cleaning up some of these coverages, but this is a poor decision by Desmond Ridder, and this has been something that has plagued him all year. There has been good play from Desmond Ridder, but it's the interceptions. And you see him double clutch here on the outbreaking route and just doesn't feel Alontae Taylor pass off of Drake London. Drake London was running a vertical route where Alontae Taylor started it. The outbreaker was coming from inside of him. Alontae Taylor decides to pass off because it's zone coverage, and Arthur Smith saying the same thing. You have to be able to see in front. When you're throwing outbreaking routes versus zone coverage, it is paramount to see what is in front of you when you let it rip.
And he didn't do this in the first half. Instead of double clutching, he would have just taken the check down. Instead, trying to make a play makes a big mistake.
Second straight week with an interception for Taylor. Saints trying to capitalize. Here's Jamal Williams, and a great tackle by Mike Hughes coming up to make the play. Hughes cleared the concussion protocol yesterday, in time to be active today.
That good tackle, good open field tackle there by Mike Hughes, grabbing around the ankles and getting to the ground. But got an injured player right here, Calais Campbell, on the field, which is, you know, if it is in fact his last game, you just don't want to see him go down this way.
We'll step aside and come right back after this.
I had the look what I found reaction. Took it right off top of the head.
I got to tell you, Clark Phillips is in good position here as he's telling the guys, man, I was there.
Excellent coverage.
It was great coverage. Let's watch this. Clark Phillips, a rookie from Utah, his head is back. He sees it, disrupts it, Chris Olave just bouncing it to himself.
How about the concentration, though, to be able to stay with that, right? And to be cool and calm and collected, taking the football off the top of his head off Clark Phillips, and it just comes off the turnover, right? You have to capitalize in those situations. New Orleans goes for the dagger with the one-on-one ball.
Extra point is good by Groupie, so the interception by Ritter leads to 7 for the Saints. Olave with his 5th touchdown of the season. That's a new career high.
Yeah, you go back to this interception. Desmond Ritter making a bad decision. Alontae Taylor's right there for the get. And then here you go, Olave just running straight to the back corner of the end zone. The throw's a little short, but he makes the most of it.
And Derek Carr gets fired up, right? He knows how important this is. He knows how important these situations are, and capitalizing off of turnovers, points off turnovers, a massive stat in the NFL. And the reaction, you see the fellas, they're all excited. It means something to them. They still have a chance this afternoon, right? Regardless of what happens in that Tampa Bay, Charlotte, Carolina game. They still have a chance with some of the stuff going this afternoon. They've come out of the half responding. They get the turnover, they make the big play on the one-on-one, and you need to do it with your best players. Chris Olave has been their best receiver all year. In big games, you got to trust your guys. Massive play from Chris Olave.
Yeah, as we told you right off the top, even if Tampa Bay wins the division, the Saints can get in as the wild card in the 7th seed. They'd need a win today, coupled with losses later this afternoon by both Seattle and Green Bay. Atlanta would be eliminated with a loss. As we go down to the field, and A.J. Ross.
Andrew, when I asked Derek Carr about Chris Olave, he says he's shown what he's believed about him this whole time. His mentality is just different. Most young guys, he says, that come into this league don't go through what he's been through or perform the way he's performed. When he sprained his ankle before the Rams game, he couldn't walk on Tuesday, and he played on Thursday. He says he does not get enough credit for his mindset, his toughness, and their connection has just grown throughout this season, guys.
That was on display right there. Brilliant play by Olave to put the Saints in front. Let's see how Ritter responds after the interception. They start this drive on the ground with Bijan Robinson. AJ pointed it out at halftime, but it's worth repeating. I mean, this is an Atlanta team that in each of the last 3 games against the Saints has rushed for over 200 yards, including in November when they went for 228. But so far today, just 26 yards on the ground for Arthur Smith's team.
Yeah, you got to credit this front 7 from New Orleans of showing up and playing it and taking away the edge, right? This outside part of the offensive line where Atlanta had so much success in those last 3 games.
Cordero Patterson on the carry, and Patterson bruises his way about a yard shy of a first down. Colin Saunders on the tackle.
And that's probably the best outside zone run that Atlanta has had for the day, the best blocked outside zone run. We talk about that edge. They hammered outside the tackle box in those last 3 games. They had so much success with it. You know, Dennis Allen was saying, hey, we've got to do something different. We've got to make an adjustment. Sometimes it just comes down to your guys playing better, and they played well up front.
And the reason you hammer outside is because it just leaves one cut for your running back.
On 3rd and 1, Ritter looking deep down the middle, and it's nearly intercepted by Adebo. So they take a shot on 3rd and 1, and out comes the punt team.
Well, Desmond Ritter's been pretty much perfect until these last 2 throws. This is an opportunity. If this ball is out in front, it is underthrown. If this ball is out in front, you got a chance. If it's not, it could have been picked. And this is one, if you're going to miss with tight coverage underneath, you're going to miss on the long side. It's one I think Desmond Ritter for sure would like to have back.
Yeah, you always think in those situations, make the receiver go get it, right? And if you overthrow it, you live with it.
Pinion, much better punt this time. A boomer driving Shaheed back. He's going to let it go, and it goes in the end zone. So a touchback for Bradley Pinion.
Defender miss. That's Andre Smith, who took Caden Ellis' spot, miss in the hole, and goes and picks up a big gainer. It almost feels like you're just waiting for this kid to hit his head on the goalpost on one of these plays. He's continually good at finding space.
We're good.
Miller had 83 yards rushing the entire season. He's got 56 today, looking for more. And he gets to the 41-yard line. As we take a look at next-gen stats powered by AWS.
Yeah, let's bring back this AWS stat from earlier in the game. Week 12, the Atlanta Falcons played 76% man coverage against the New Orleans Saints. Today, only 42.9, 43%. We talked to Calais Campbell, who was back on the field after that slight injury, and he said, hey, man, that worked. The first time we played, why are we changing it up?
Carr on 2nd and 7. He's got it wide open. Juwan Johnson sprinting into Atlanta territory and knocked out by Jesse Bates. Johnson breaking free for 20.
Well, this is really similar to what Atlanta did, motioning to the bunch set, and you see right here again a miscommunication. Early in the game, it was the miscommunication by the New Orleans defense. Right here in the bunch set, it's the miscommunication by the Atlanta defense, and it's one of the hard things when you're playing a lot of different coverages, right? It's one of the hard things when people motion into those bunch sets because there's so much communication that is required. A good job by Pete Carmichael of dialing that up, giving Derek Carr an easy throw to Juwan Johnson.
There's Miller trying the right side, and he cannot get away from Carter. Lorenzo Carter, the initial hit, slowed down Miller enough where he got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Yeah, Miller's a strong runner, man. This is a good tackle by Carter on the edge, but I mean, he should be a 4-yard loss here. Instead, he just keeps his balance, spreads his legs, and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
We used to call these like a good gain of 0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where
Yes.
it's something tackle behind the line of scrimmage, you're able to fight and get back to that line of scrimmage. Great effort.
2nd and 10. Play action. Carr has all day, taking a deep shot. Shaheed is down there. Shaheed, he's got it! Touchdown! A 39-yard strike from Carr to Shaheed.
New Orleans has come out in the second half and been ready to go, and you see right here, Derek Carr just putting it up. Richie Grant gets turned the wrong way. He's in a good position. There's no question about that, but he turns over his right shoulder and starts to look for the ball that way. And the ball's slightly behind where his head's at. No chance for him to make a play on the football, but a good job of securing this football to the ground by Shaheed. He was a guy early in the season was creating so many explosive plays for the New Orleans Saints. He steps up here in the most critical of situations and comes down with the catch.
It's a 24-3 run by the Saints. Derek Carr with his 3rd touchdown pass of the day.
Aggressive. Derek Carr is getting a lot of time to throw the ball downfield. Good coverages here. Right? Just great catches by these 2 wide receivers, Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed.
But it also doesn't happen without excellent pass protection from the New Orleans offensive line. Carr had time to let those things develop down the field. You said it, excellent coverage, but New Orleans just making the plays when they need to be made.
Ritter to the air on 1st down, and he locates Drake London. London is pinballed down a yard shy of 1st by Pete Werner. It's a big drive for the Falcons. Last 5 possessions, 3 punts, a pick, and a field goal. They got to get something going here like they did back in the 1st quarter.
Well, Tiki talked about the momentum shift. All of a sudden, it's 31-17. How do you get the momentum back to your side? It's about converting a few 1st downs, right? Putting the fans back in their seats a little bit, catching a little bit of that rhythm that they had in the first half. But you got to do it meticulously.
Algier, and he's got some room up the middle for a 1st down, running right into Mario Davis.
Tiki, I think you have to go back to what you do best, right? That's running the football.
Right, you got to get the stretch happening and give your running backs, both of whom are really good at getting downhill and picking up yardage, the ability to cut back against the grain, break a tackle, because they lead the league in yards after contact, and hope that the big plays come that way. Right now, they're getting outrushed by the New Orleans Saints.
Here's Bijan Robinson on the right side. And not much doing there today for that Falcons ground game. Robinson, 7 carries for just 20 yards.
And we talked about this in the open, about what the New Orleans Saints needed to do, and it was gap responsibility. When we talked to Dennis Allen, he said, we're getting out of our gaps. We're getting confused. We're looking opposite ways because of the motion and shifting. But don't try to do someone else's job. Just do your job, and everything else behind you will take care of it.
Yeah, we just showed Nathan Shepard right there. It's about the penetration, too. He provided it on that last play.
Ritter to London, incomplete. Amati and Taylor were right there. Taylor almost had another.
Yeah, Alante Taylor's been in the right spot here in the second half after giving up a couple of big plays. This is zone coverage, right? And so you're trying to in and out, and they're trying to sit this down right there, but the eyes of Desmond Ritter take Ugo Amati to that football right away. You've got to do a great job of trying to hold your eyes down the middle, keep guys in a certain space in that zone.
3rd down and 9. It's as loud as we've heard it here in New Orleans. Ritter looking for London. He's got him on the sideline. What a throw by Ritter, just over the outstretched arms of Ugo Amati for 21 yards.
It's a big-time throw, right? And it's a response from a guy who had a miss, an interception, all of those things, and to be able to fit this ball in and make sure Drake London does a great job of getting both knees down to secure that catch. But it's zone coverage again, and a great part of this is the reset. We saw it right there, the reset of the angle by Drake London, and Desmond Ritter throwing that ball with some touch over the top. It's an encouraging sign.
Bijan Robinson on 1st down, trying to bounce to the outside, and he gets back toward the line of scrimmage.
And you're right, Matt, this is a lot of outside zone, but the death of the outside zone is penetration on the edge, and Jake Matthews gets pushed back at least 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, because
it just blows it up.
And what happens, it blows it up at the point of attack, but it also doesn't allow the running back to be able to cut back.
Yeah, right.
You can't cut back into that backside cutback lane.
Right, you get stuck on one path.
Play action, Ritter rolling, comes back to Jonnu Smith. Nice move by Smith after the catch. And he got an extra couple of yards out of that to make it 3rd down and 1.
Jonnu Smith has been sneaky good all year with his run after the catch. Some of that happened because of some screens that he's caught that were basically untouched.
Right.
But his yards after catch have been really good. That was a good job by Desmond Ritter finding Jonnu Smith behind him on that keeper to the left and just navigating it to put yourself in a 3rd and 1.
In the first half on 3rd and 1, they took a shot, then did not go for it on 4th down. Let's see what Arthur Smith decides to do here. With Ritter pitching it to Robinson, and Bijan Robinson has the 1st down. Cut down by Tyrann Mathieu after a gain of 4.
Yeah, the little quasi option here. It works because it forces you to look at the quarterback. And as soon as you look at the quarterback, Bijan Robinson has the edge. It's the safety's responsibility now to come from a long way to make a stop. On 3rd and 1, it's a great call.
Ball is spotted at the 23-yard line. 9th play of the drive. Ritter to Algier inside the 20, bounced out of bounds around the 15. With 4:27 to go in the 3rd quarter, Alante Taylor had the big hit.
I mean, that was a violent finish right there by Tyler Algier on the sideline, and took Alante Taylor a second to get back up.
Right.
A good check down to the flat early by Desmond Ritter, and Tyler Algier, not avoiding contact, lowers that shoulder and boom, finishes it.
I don't know if Alante Taylor is all right after that hit. Got to keep an eye on him.
Ritter to Bijan Robinson. And Robinson plows right past Werner and still going for the 1st down. How about the hesitation by Bijan Robinson?
I mean, you said it, the hesitation and really the jump back, right, to provide space. I mean, I just don't know how you have the wherewithal to be able to do this. You see it right here. He catches it, decides, you know what, I'm going to bounce back just a hair and make that cut.
Right. And then he runs through the tackle on the 2nd level of DeMario Davis, which is not an easy thing to do. Gets the 1st down. Now you're 10, 1st and goal.
from the 10-yard line. Now a stoppage. They're going to check the spot, I believe, to see if it should be 1st and goal or 1st and 10. Oh, and now they're removing Alante Taylor from the game. And that's what Tiki said on the play previously, that he got hit in the head, and now the medical spotter is taking Taylor out.
And this is a good thing to see. We had this last week as well. But when these guys get hit and go to the ground without body control, so he gets hit there, you see a little bit of head contact, but as he goes to the ground, you can see he's losing control of his facilities. So they correctly, the spotter correctly identifies that, and they pull Alante Taylor out of the game. He'll go into the tent for a concussion protocol.
Meanwhile, the Buccaneers just kicked the field goal, so they go up 9-0 on Carolina in the 4th quarter. There's 10:18 to go.
Got a shootout down there.
It is 1st and goal with Cordero Patterson behind Ritter. A handoff to Patterson. Patterson trying to get to the outside. Now cuts it back into 10. Still going at the 5. Great job by Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, Cordero Patterson didn't have a lot of help on this play, but he gets to the edge, and he's kind of just waiting for hits to make a block. He misses, and he's like, all right, I got to take this guy too. Great effort by Cordero Patterson, who a couple years ago resurrected his career here.
Yeah, he's had a good stretch, right? He's been injured, fought through injuries, you know, most of this year. Probably hasn't been utilized as much as in years past, but when he gets it in space, he's so big and physical and runs so violently, he's tough to get to the ground.
Inside pitch to London. What a play design, but London can't get there. Down at the 1, Pete Werner on the tackle. It's 3rd down and goal.
And this looks like something they stole from the Miami Dolphins, right? We've seen that out of Miami Dolphins all year. They're going to fake kind of a sweep look right there and then shovel pass it back to Drake London, who just gets short. He's got to be careful extending that football right there, so close to the goal line.
I mean, this is a good job by Pete Werner, who was in man coverage on Bijan Robinson. And as soon as he saw the play action, the run action go away, he just stopped and hung there. Otherwise, that's a walk-in touchdown.
Patterson next to Ritter on 3rd and goal. Robinson in motion. Patterson spun down. Carl Granderson makes the play. And on 4th down, the Falcons will go for it.
Yeah, Carl Granderson pays zero mind to Desmond Ritter. And this somewhat of a zone read here, but it was dead either way because Tyrann Mathieu is right there to take the quarterback. He's got to hand it off.
It's been one of the things when Desmond Ritter had played, they've used a lot as good defensive scheme right there, as you mentioned, Tiki.
All right, 2 off the edge.
4th and goal. Ritter, and it's incomplete. Intended for Robinson. And the Falcons come up empty.
The official 5G network of the NFL. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Late stages of the 3rd quarter, and the Saints defense comes up with a goal line stand against the Falcons. They lead by 14 and take over at their own 2-yard line.
Silver. All the way out. Yes. 180.
Paul Williams, the running back, takes the handoff, gets 2 yards. Let's go back to the 4th and goal play by Atlanta.
Yeah, and I want everybody to watch Desmond Ritter's footwork here. You want to watch this front left foot for Desmond Ritter. When you're throwing an out route to the left, and especially in critical situations, it comes down to the fundamentals. He gets closed off right here. That front left foot needs to be facing out there towards the front pylon to allow that ball to go in front. When you get closed off and you have to throw against your body, the ball tends to dive right to the inside. It's a simple throw, right? But you have to do the little things right to be able to complete that. Being closed off in that situation prevented them from scoring the touchdown.
Carr in his own end zone with pressure coming, and he throws it away. So that 4th down play, a little bit shades of the failed 4th down play by the Colts last night against the Texans. NFL Today update in New York.
And here might be your player of the game, Chase McLaughlin, 3rd field goal of the day. This is a 39-yard field goal attempt, and it is good. Makes it a 2-score game. Bucks up 9-0. Back to you guys.
All right, so that's not good news for the Falcons, as they would be knocked out with the Tampa Bay win. Saints would still be alive for a playoff spot, even if Tampa Bay is victorious in that game. With 7 minutes to go. 3rd and 8 with Carr. Campbell coming. Carr gets rid of it. And Perry with the adjustment. A.T. Perry reels it in. Clark Phillips had the coverage. A 28-yard gain.
Yeah, we talked about all that man coverage that the Falcons like to play. Well, they're doing it right here. And Clark Phillips is in really good position, just like he was on the touchdown. But A.T. Perry adjusts to the football. He's a bigger wide receiver. Gets his body around hand and chest into the catch. And Derek Carr once again relying on his wide receivers to make these big plays for him. Atlanta just can't get it right.
That's the end of the third